I'd love to do a clever intro here, but I can't be bothered. Let's just get the new season going, shall we? What's up guys, ChasingLamely here for episode number 76 of Passport to Poland. We are into season 5 now, which I don't want to do the math on. It's a lot of episodes per season, but you know, whatever, we'll get through it. We are about to play our first game of the season against Crusaders, which this episode, for those of you who may have missed yesterday, and you should check out yesterday because a lot happened, so much happened. I know it's 40 minutes of episode, worth it, a lot happened. Pause, go back to that one, come back here. Right. Yeah, so this episode picks up literally where I stopped recording the last episode. We're about to play Crusaders. There's nothing else worth knowing. We still have 3.6 million left to spend in the window that is still open, and there is 16,000 a week, or 15,500 a week available to spend on players should they come up of sufficient quality, which they may or may not do. Right, so straight into it. Should be quite quick and easy. Crusaders at home. Crusaders, of course, of Northern Ireland. We're bringing them back to Poland. We are 6-1 on favourites. The 3 players are unregistered, who are Haris Seferovic, Oliver Norwood, and Vasily. I expect at least 2 of them to move on at some point in the next couple of episodes. And Matty Longstaff is serving his suspension from the horrific red card from the last game. So, starting lineup wise, we are looking like this, and we're looking like this for a reason. I'll explain using the magic of filters and whatnot. So the lineup is Sherpen, Cruz, Gomez, Blody and Francis at left back. Nick Francis won't be playing regularly at left back. There is a reason for this, and I will explain. Pierre Vinicius starts as the defensive midfielder. Again, don't expect this to become a regular thing. Ribeiro, Shish is in at central midfield. This is all related. Liss as advanced playmaker behind Mitchell and Sterling, with Bajalski, Black, Angelastri, Borin, Konieczny, Szymczak and Wright on the bench. Okay, so into the why things are happening. As far as I'm concerned, you see there's a bid in for Kjell Sherp, and he's almost certainly out the door. Bradley Wilson is our first choice goalkeeper. He would be our first choice goalkeeper. He would be playing in this game. He's proven himself now. However, he's currently with the US under-23s playing in the Olympics. Yeah, he's going to be gone for the next month, which is okay, because if Sherpen leaves, Sarnowski is just as good. He's not going anywhere. Ignore the wanted. He's going nowhere. So we've got cover. It's not an issue. But yeah, Wilson not playing because he's on international duty. A whole bunch of guys I'm ready to do as you expect. But then there's little things like Reece Devine isn't eligible because I completely forgot to check the fixture lists when this draw was made, and the second team have played. And in pre-season, I tend to make everyone in the first team available to the second team until they gain match fitness, because that way, if I can't find room for them in the first team friendlies, they'll probably play in the reserve team friendlies, and so on and so forth. It just means players get as much match experience as they can to get them fit for the new season. It's you know, I'm sure we all do similar things. But I forgot the games clashed. Reece Devine played for the seconds, so he is not eligible today, which will be just about okay, except he wasn't the only one I forgot about this with. Because I also forgot that Alex Rico was in the reserves, hence Pierre Vinicius being sat there. So obviously, normally Reece Devine will be at left back. Alex Rico would be in the centre of midfield as defensive midfielder. Obviously, Matty Longstaff is suspended, which is why Shish has come in, because I'd have been able to rearrange that. Furley played for the seconds. He would have been in ahead of Shish in a heartbeat. Connor Carty would have probably found his way into this team somewhere. Staviarts may have had a shot at getting in the team. You get the idea. There's a few players. I made some mistakes, and I forgot they weren't available for this game because of mistakes that I made. Also because squad restrictions and because obviously we sold Gonzalez at the last second after we registered the squad. Otherwise, I would have registered probably Vasily or Nati to play to be able to be in that gap. Anyway, doesn't matter. What matters is this is the this is everything vaguely first team appropriate I've got. So this is what we're going to have to go with and hope for the absolute best and see what we can do. Because normally I wouldn't want 2 of my 5 or 7 members of the bench to be strikers, but that's what I've got. Oh, they've all got their preferred numbers. That's adorable. That probably makes most sense. So we'll go with that. Cool. Right. I am feeling this today. I'm feeling this like it's going to be okay. So this is the first game we're playing Crusaders. The next game is going to be the game against Lecce, like I said yesterday, which is the Super Cup final. So, you know, we're gonna make the best of everything. They're also playing with a 4-4-2 diamond. They're slightly more cautious than we are. Anyone here we should know? Rodney Brown, I don't know him. My knowledge of Northern Irish football isn't great. I know a Danny Devine, who was a wrestler and now an author, but this is not him. The age might be about right. I feel like I've insulted Danny. I think he's the same age as me. I think he'll be fine with being accused of being 31. Yeah, so he played for Oxford. He's had a fairly good career, so maybe he'll be okay. Charlie Owens, does he feel like someone I should know? Played for Tranmere. Yeah, there's a lot of good good Northern Irish players here. A lot of international caps. Ryan McLaughlin, of course, played for Blackpool and Aberdeen and Liverpool and all over the place. Yeah, there's going to be a few players here. Howard Beverland is the captain. He's been at Crusaders forever. And then we've got this guy here, Shay Gordon, making his debut, having signed from Arbroath. Has been around the Scottish game for a long time, so he's probably going to be okay. Joel Cooper, previously of Linfield, again, been around a while. Might be okay. This guy, Lewis McKinnon, I feel like I know the name Lewis McKinnon. I don't know why. I may have signed him from Rangers at some point. But yeah, he's playing up top for them, and this is their new regen-y guy, a striker and a 19 international. We're going to have a little look at him, because if his finishing is closer to the 20 end of the scale and the acceleration is close to that end, if anything that's hidden in these mentals comes up as being any use at all, 1.2k is an absolute steal for that guy. I can just flip him, essentially. Keep him for a year, train him, and flip him, and we'll finally have a look at Paddy McLean, who doesn't look like he's a real human at all. Which is fine. Right, into the dressing room. Let's win this game. We should be winning this one fairly comfortably. It seems like an understatement. Your team's been impacted by international call-outs. How do you see it affecting the match? We'll adapt, because we have to. We're confident he'll perform. I'll trust him. I've got options I can rearrange if I need to. Matty Longstaff's absence will be felt. We'd rather have him, but we're good without him. Valdemar Liss will be fine, because he's Valdemar Liss. He should in fact have a field day today, to be quite honest. Be nice to see him get like a big score racked up, but we'll see how it goes. Obviously, it could go either way, but I don't suspect it will. They are on the attack immediately. The good thing about this, of course, is it's 2 legs, so the guys who are missing will be in the team for the second leg, which means I can go sort of business as usual against them. Good cross into Sterling, because Sterling can't quite put it away. Yeah, so even if something goes badly wrong here and they're able to scrape some kind of result against us, I feel like I can just go full smashy in the second leg and we'll get through. Ribeiro picks up the ball in midfield, finds a ball forward to Mitchell, who just about keeps it in. He's got some good pace if he can find his way past Brown, but he can't, although he's faffing in the corner. Mitchell might take it off him. He does. They're having a little scrap. It was more UFC than football, because Sterling at the back post heads over the bar. And there's a lot of things happening in this game. I thought for a second I had that on full match highlights, but I didn't. So, that will be what it'll be. That will be what it will be, is my finest adventure in English today. Right, throw-in from Francis to Sterling. Sterling back to Francis, who should be able to get a crossover. He's got plenty of time. Plays it back to Belodi. I guess no panic to Shish. He's playing his first game for us in about 2 years. Ball across to Ribeiro. I was trying to sell Shish too, so I'm glad I kept him. Because he does qualify for our Polish player account. Shish from distance has a pop. Simon Shish, I think, may have just heard me mentioning that I was trying to get rid of him. Because he has responded with an absolute worldie. And it will be really shocking now if I got rid of him and suddenly he got the goal of the season for that. Which is not impossible, because that was quite the effort from that distance. Quite the effort. Fair play to the boy. He's done really well with that. So we're gonna let him have it. We've got ourselves a throw in though. Felipe Cruz to Mitchell. Mitchell back to Felipe Cruz. Cruz with a ball over to Shish. Oh, Shish hasn't got the end of it, but what was that? Nick Francis just put the most ridiculous curve on that ball. Just the most ridiculous curve on that ball. That was Roberto Carlos at Le Tournoi kind of curve on that ball. And if you don't know the reference, then type it into YouTube. You won't be disappointed. Pierre Vinicius, ball back to Belodi. Belodi with the ball forward, searching out for Nick Francis. Nick Francis into the box, gets the ball over the top. Ribeiro at the back post buries it. That's a 2-0 lead. And this makeshift team that I've been forced to throw together in the most haphazard of fashions has come good. Just generally good work all round. Francis getting himself into the box. Not worried by the man trying to mark him. Ribeiro takes it on the volley, and McLean did not have what it took to keep the ball out, and that's got us well ahead inside the first 20 minutes. We could make it 3 here as Francis takes the throw into Sterling. Back to Francis, who has looked dangerous on the left-hand side, gets the ball inside to Vinicius, to Shish. Simon Shish, just within inches of doubling his tally. And frankly, if he gets a hat-trick in this game, I'm giving him a new contract and he can stay forever. I only need him for the early stages of the Champions League. That's all I really need to keep him around for. But it's good to know he's there. McLean with a goal kick, and we will hopefully get ourselves on the end of this pretty quickly as Beveland has picked up the ball. Looks like we're going to try and hassle him for a tackle. Maybe? No? Okay. We won't do that then. We'll let them keep control of it for a little while. Pretend like they footballers. And now Liss with a ball forward, and Keziah Sterling can run onto it. Who's there waiting? Anyone? Someone? Ball over the top, and that's going to fall to Felipe Cruz, who forces a save from McLean, who has done very, very well to keep them in the game, quite frankly. We are all over them. I'm tempted to just try and rack up a cricket score, because then I can throw out the reserves in the second game if I need to. It would have to be a very big advantage for me to throw out the youth team in the next. Like, trust me, this is not going to be like Hoynichanka last season, where I got a bit cocky and threw out the reserves. We would have to be like 6-7-0 up on aggregate for me to do that. And I'd still have a bench full of first team defenders in case I needed to stem the bleeding. But you know, we'll see how this goes. Mitchell can't get the cross in. Felipe Cruz to Liss. Liss could have a chance. Ribeiro to Shish. To Francis. Francis has a pop from this. Nick Francis gets himself a goal assisted by Simon Shish. And 3-0 looks very, very strong right now. Very strong. The fact that we're playing in the first qualifying round of the Champions League after making it to the groups last year hurts my soul a little bit. We didn't get any notices of like European reputation changes, so nobody from this season, as far as I can tell, is going into, say, the Europa League or getting in at a later stage of any European competition. But hopefully that will start to change as our European coefficient goes up. Felipe Cruz, though, picks up the ball on the right-hand side. He's got space to run, decides to flick it into Sterling on the... Keziah Sterling makes it 4, and this is just becoming silly, and I'm glad I went slightly more attacking, because then we can start building up something of a powerful, powerful lead. Really good stuff, just really good all-round performance. I didn't expect Crusaders to put up much of a fight against us, and actually I kind of feel better now about doing this with a weakened team. I mean, I feel bad about doing it with a weakened team because, you know, it is embarrassing for Crusaders to get beaten well, to be 4-0 down against our makeshift whoever showed up for training this week kind of team. But imagine the score. Oh, I don't know what he's done there. Imagine the score if I had a full strength team out. We'd be absolutely battering them right now. And we're already absolutely battering them. But if we'd had a completely full strength team, I genuinely fear we'd be 7 or 8 up by now. We could still be 7 or 8 up by the end of the game. Let's not count that out as Kjell Sherpen, by the way, in the last game of last season, as it was with the Redux, because I had to, fix the crash, actually now holds the extra classer record for most clean sheets in a season. I think it might be most consecutive clean sheets in a season as well. He also owns. Felipe Cruz has picked up. Felipe Cruz gets the 5th goal of the game. Well, I wasn't really paying much attention. But yeah, that was just a random stat as well. Just a random stat that Kjell Sherpen, I think he hit 25 clean sheets last season in the league, which is dirty in a 37 game season. I dread to think how many clean sheets he's actually had for the club in his time with us. It's probably a I think he's on something like 500 minutes since he last conceded a goal. Felipe Cruz, ball over the top. Who in the back? It was Francis Sterling. A bit of a pinball moment in the box, but Belodi is picked up. Belodi plays the ball forward. Will find Felipe Cruz. Felipe Cruz will be looking for another way to get the ball in. He won't get there. It's been blocked, and hopefully we're going to pick it back up. We should pick it back up fairly soon, you'd think, although Trainer's on a break. I'd hate it if Kjell Sherpen's run of not being beaten ended against Crusaders while we're 5-0 up. That would be just appalling. I would be disappointed in our defence. I know we've lost Guay, but we've not weakened it that much. Guay wasn't significantly better than Belodi or Gomez. Vinicius to Ribeiro. Ribeiro will play the ball forward to Felipe Cruz. The two Portuguese combining, and Sterling on the back post hits the bar. Things looking okay. I'm aware that Pierre Vinicius is tiring. It's in my mind that he's got to come off. I don't know what I'm going to do to replace him, but it's in my mind he's got to come off. As List puts it in the corner, but it is headed clear. Picks it back up, and he should be able to get a ball across to someone. Finds Ribeiro. Ribeiro to Vinicius. Back to Ribeiro. Lots of Portuguese spoken on our team. Mitchell back to Felipe Cruz. Cruz forward to Mitchell. And what can Mitchell do? Whips it across to Sterling. Can't quite get his head in it, but Nick Francis will pick it up. We know he's dangerous. Gets the crossover. Sterling will have another go. Keziah Sterling gets his 2nd goal of the season. We're 6-0 up, and it might be time to break out the youth team. It may well be time to break out the youth team. We're going to very much see how that goes. It may well be time the youth team get themselves a chance to go and see sunny Northern Ireland in August. Well, July, isn't it? July in the game. Yeah, might be him. They might be getting themselves a holiday, the youth team. As Francis has a free kick. He can score from there. He's done it before. He aims for Mitchell, though. Ribeiro to Belodi. Belodi fancies a pop, and with absolutely no pressure on him whatsoever, just absolutely hammers it out of the stadium. And that's how that goes. Let us do a quick pause. I'm going to make some changes. Mostly protective changes. Vinicius is coming off. I'm thinking what might happen here is Sterling can. We'll switch to essentially the 4-5-1. We're going to move Vinicius up here before we take him off, because I shouldn't need too much in the way of defensive support. Sterling can go out left. Less out right. That usually works okay. We'll put Mitchell on as an advanced. We'll put him on as a complete forward because he can do that. Sterling is best as an inverted winger. Liss, I think, is best as an inside forward on support, so we'll let him have that. Right, now the question becomes, who is the guy to replace there? Bartosz Burin apparently is the guy to replace there. I can't argue with it. I can't argue with it. I just can't argue against something else. Let's try that. Right, let's see who the best guy is actually to be in this central attacking role. It's probably going to be Valdemar Liss. Which means Boron can move back there, maybe. Ribeiro. Scrap that. I've just realised what I've done, and it was such a simple change. We'll just put Konieczny in there because he can do that role. It's his best role up top. That's good. Shish, what's your best thing? Probably Mazzala, or yeah, we'll put you as a Mazzala. Why not? Get you a chance to get out wide. Ribeiro. I'm pretty sure you can do deep line playmaker. That will work out nicely, all things considered. That should be fairly strong. That should work quite nicely. We'll do that. And in fact, having said all of that nonsense in my head, I'm also going to have to take off Keziah Sterling, probably. So let's take off Keziah Sterling. Let's put a Thierry Wright in. Yeah, why not? And then we can put Mitchell on the left-hand side, because he can allegedly do that. I guess inside forward is his thing, which is fine. That's not going to hurt us at all. And we'll take off Igor Gomez just to protect him from that yellow card. I'm going to send on Jacek Bajelski, I think, because Dave Black isn't fully fit, but I only put him on the bench because I figured if we need him, he's there, but we don't actually need him. Bajelski can play centre-half. We may as well give him the match experience and see how this all shakes out, as Bajelski picks it up almost immediately on coming on. Liss with a chance to put it back in. Ribeiro at the back post. Francisco Ribeiro puts it in for his second goal of the season, a 7-0. And it's going to be one of those games. I haven't done a game for ages where I put out just the best potential players we have. And it's this is going to be the second leg of this game will be one of those days where I just put out the highest potential team I can, just to give them a chance to play in the Champions League. But this is an absolutely brutal performance. We're just destroying them. 7-0. Thierry Wright almost makes it 8, heads it over the bar. Opportunities all round. Keziah Sterling's not going to be happy that I took him off when he had a hat trick in his hands. But also, I wouldn't have been happy if he got a second yellow card pointlessly against Crusaders at 7-0 up. So, you know, you pay your money, you take your choice. If you don't do something stupid and get yourself booked, you'd have stayed on till the end. Felipe Cruz with a ball back to Ribeiro. Ribeiro might have a chance to complete his hat-trick. Unselfishly plays it in, but Bevelin clears it only as far as Cruz, who gets another shot in. Darren Mitchell's got his first goal of the season, playing on the left wing, which is not somewhere he is normally playing. And I'm very aware this episode is in danger of going long, just because we've absolutely done pieces to them. Absolute pieces to Crusaders. I apologise for how long this episode is going to be now. I didn't think it was going to be an 8-0. I thought maybe a 2 or a 3-0. I didn't think what we were going to do is watching basically the entire match as we batter Crusaders. I could have demanded more then. I don't know why I didn't. We fired them up with the praise. I'd like to see Ribeiro get himself a hat-trick. I'd like to see Shish get himself a hat-trick, to be honest. Francis gets the ball across, and that's going to be a penalty, and Ribeiro will be the man taking it. He is going to get his hat-trick because he is the natural guy, and he's put it in. That's Ribeiro's hat-trick. That's 9-0. 9-0 on aggregate. If this was a boxing match, the ref would have stopped it at half-time. The ref would have stopped this at half-time if it had been a boxing match. Let's demand more. Let's make it 10. Why not? See who else we can get on the score sheet as Francis takes a free kick from deep, ball over the top. Who's in this one? Bajelski? Oh, I thought Bajelski was going to get himself a goal. He might still do. Francis gets a free kick. Back in. Valdemar Liss off the bar. I don't know how Valdemar Liss wins a header. It's crossed the line. Ariel Konieczny has somehow... I don't know what happened there. I genuinely have no clue what happened there. Brown dilly-dally getting off the line, and Konieczny, I guess, just kind of slid in on him. or something, and now the game's having a moment because it doesn't seem to understand what's happening here. Neither do I. It's 10-0. This is ridiculous. Brown to Beveland. Are we going to get an 11th goal? That would be disgusting if we did. That'd be disgusting if we conceded here as well. Let's not do that. Let's not get that complacent. McLaughlin has picked up the ball on the left-hand side. Ball back to Devine. Ball over the top. Let's head this clear. Belodi's missed his header, but the striker's not interested, thankfully. And Sherpen has ours. Bajelski, ball forward, finds Valdemar Liss, who's playing out wide at the moment, and plenty of space ahead of him. Plays in Felipe Cruz, who's on the overlap. Felipe Cruz might get the ball in, might cut it back to Liss. He cuts it back to Liss. Liss will have opportunities, but the cross is blocked. Cruz gets the cross in, and Konieczny, on his debut, by the way, on his debut has got a second goal off the bench. He's one of our youth teamers. He's literally one of our, I think this year's intake. He's been with the club less than a year, and he is scoring 2 goals on his debut in the Champions League. He might become an actual hero. I'm going to have to buy another shirt. Francis to Akeri Wright, who cannot score. And Akeri Wright, usually so reliable for goals, is the only man who cannot score against Crusaders. And that is the final whistle. That is an 11-0 rout. And we're 26 minutes into the episode. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm really, really sorry. Right, let's just carry on. Let's just carry on. I don't know. I promised you a final, so I've got to do it now. Normally I wouldn't. I think normally I'd just go, okay, let's wrap it up there. But I don't know. In fact, you know what? I'm going to wrap it up there. Now I've thought about it, I will wrap it up there, because I don't want to risk us having another game like this and then you watching an hour-long episode for no reason. We'll just do the post-match stuff. Superb defensive performance, absolutely. Nick Francis is capable of miracles. Ribeiro's hat-trick was outstanding. Konieczny was a key performer. And Shea Gordon had a terrible game and helped us out. Excellent. Ribeiro on form, will give him the praise he deserves. And there is a guy, I'm about to do a contract with this guy, Dostalek, a Czech player, a Czech 18-year-old midfielder, I think has a big-ish future for us. He was available for 2.4 million, which should hopefully keep the board happy for a little while. Anyway, let's wrap the episode up. Like I said, it was going to be a 2-game episode, but I think we're half an hour in. I don't know how long the next game is going to go. We'll keep it to a single game, which I'm sure someone would be very grateful for. An 11-0 win against Crusaders. If you've enjoyed that, guys, smash the like and subscribe buttons, because that's what they're there for moments like this. Socials are below: Twitter, Insta, Patreon, all at ChasingLamely. Talking of which, I have been ChasingLamely. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, have a good one.